Gloves Off, Tough Talk Sports Podcast with Christopher R. and Dani, talking tough on sports, martial arts, and anything in between. Dani, World Martial Arts Hall of Famer, NFL expert, and New York Football Giants fanatic. Christopher R., businessman, promoter, retired flag football athlete, and boxing aficionado. Sit down and throw down. Gloves Off, Tough Talk with Christopher R. and Dani. Gloves Off, Tough Talk Sports Podcast, presented by the See You at 6 Network.
Hello and welcome to another podcast show of Gloves Off Tough Talk with Dani, brought to you by the See You at 6 Network. Today, Dani and I are going to discuss the Super Bowl wrap-up. You wanted to talk about a couple of things that really bother Dani, really eat at her. Before we get started, I want to do a shout out to our sponsors, Chef Rob, that's also our caterer, and La Valette Pizza Restaurant, George Giorno. Thank you for all your help in promoting the show at your places. Before we get
Manny at Progressive Boxing, because Manny will come after us.
Yeah, I don't want him kicking my ass. That's
no.
good. Before we get started and get into the Super Bowl wrap-up, obviously, between these two teams that battled it out, I want to just say something. This wrap-up is very important because we've come so far, and Dani has a book coming out June 29th. International Fairy Day.
Yes.
So you can imagine what the book is about. This tough talk podcaster on sports.
Wrote about fairies.
Right. Wrote a book about fairies. So fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be interesting.
It'll be a bumpy ride.
It's going to be a bumpy ride. The other thing I noticed about you can't stand, you're always cold. So
I'm always cold.
The studio is brutally hot right now. So
no one says brutally hot.
For me, it's brutally hot because I
Yes.
love the cold. I want to jump into one thing. Mm-hmm. Now that this is all done, we'll talk about who I thought should win and why.
Agreed.
I want to talk about my hero. And when I say hero, it's always the best that have done something, especially in football. Mm-hmm. I have my special jersey on. I want to show you, see if you recognize it. We'll turn around and tell you.
Tillman.
After all this talk with Giants, as a Giants fan, mm-hmm. This is my hero. I have always admired the strength of a guy that went all out on the defensive line, on safety. He really brought them in '98. He was 7th round choice, draft pickup. Mm-hmm. He did phenomenal things for them.
Yes.
And ran the team. So today I'm wearing red. It's not my color. I'm not a big red.
Well, obviously I can't say the same, but okay.
So, now, moving forward, now that I feel very comfortable in my jersey.
Yes.
I want to talk about what you thought of the game real quick, or do you...
Before we get to the game, hold on. We got to clear a couple things up. Okay? All right,
Here we go.
We'll get into the game in a second. Okay? First of all, I applaud Tillman, but let's get back to a couple other heroes that were... honored at the NFL honors the night before.
Okay, yes, you've been complaining about that since the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Besides the hosting gig and all that, and Steve Harvey, which let's just throw all that aside, okay? We're gonna skip that whole thing. It's pomp and circumstance, but there are some good things to it because everybody votes and whatever. We had some wonderful things. Lamar Jackson, 50 unanimous votes. The other time it's happened, 2010, Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Okay. But he deserved it. And, Brady deserved it. Lamar totally deserved it. He won it. I was thrilled to see it. I have no idea what that outfit was, though. Lamar, really, sweetie, we got to talk because I don't know what that outfit was. One day you'll explain it, but you look cute. You totally pulled it off. You had the swagger. You looked adorable. Loved it.
In other words, don't wear it again.
Yeah. But you look good, okay? A lot of great little things happened on there. Player of the year, offensive player, Michael Thomas, wide receiver, the Saints, phenomenal player.
Yeah.
He deserved it. There were a lot of great things. But my one major complaint, Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis, you watching? Because this is all to you, Lewis, right now. Reverend Lewis, or whatever the hell you're calling yourself nowadays, because I seriously can't keep up with it all. Eli Manning came out. Eli got a standing ovation. Love you. He got out. It was great. The whole room stood up. It was lovely. I was so happy. Okay, he comes out to present the Walter Payton Man of the Year, which out of all the awards that night, I think is the one thing the NFL does really well, because all these players do their charitable functions. They devote their own time, their own money. Yeah. It's great. It's everything that Walter Payton stood for. I think it's a beautiful award. We're not going to get into the year that Eli tied with Larry Fitzgerald for it, because anyway, so Eli goes out to present it. The whole room stands up, except one person who's dead center in the front row. Ray Lewis, why the hell didn't you stand up for Eli Manning? Yes, I want an answer. I want an answer from you. I want it right now. Okay? Because it was classless. The entire room is standing up. You did not play against Eli in any meaningful games. Let's face it, because you didn't. All right? You have nothing against Eli. No one has anything against Richie Cunningham. Eli is the Richie Cunningham of the football league. He does nothing wrong. Okay, what the hell did he ever do to you? Absolutely nothing.
So what do you think? What's your observation?
I want to know. He stood there.
He wasn't
arms
injured?
Folded. Last time I checked, your knees were working just fine, because you were knee slapping during all the damn jokes, so you were just fine. So why didn't you stand up, Ray Lewis?
Yeah, the arm folding usually gives it away.
Why didn't you stand up?
Okay.
I want an answer. It was classless, okay? You sit there and you preach, and I say preach because you and I both know where I'm going with this, right? After your acquittal, yeah, I threw it out there, lobbed it out there, don't really care. Why didn't you stand up for Eli Manning? The entire room did. Even Patriots, wink, wink, stood up. Why didn't you? What is your problem?
Okay,
I'm sorry, but it was totally classless, because you stood up for your man Lamar when he got up. So why didn't you stand up? It's the Walter Payton. Even if you have an issue with the person, it was what he was presenting, the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. So I just have an issue, and Calais Campbell won, and he should have won. Calais does a phenomenal job, and you stood for Calais.
Okay, so his legs were working. He could stand up.
So you should have stood up. And that's my little commentary on the NFL honors. Everything else was great. Everybody won. It was lovely. Yeah, it's whatever it is. Goodell just parades people out there for his own little whatever it is. Goodell.
Well, it'd be nice to get people to.
You should have stood.
To actually DM us and have questions for you on our Instagram.
I'm sure people have their issues.
You can go back and forth, go toe to toe. Don't challenge her to a fight, though. I don't admit. I don't advise that.
There's no excuse. You should have stood. It's just what it is. You should have stood.
So moving
everything
forward,
else was just fine. On that, the night was great, and it led to a beautiful game, and blah, 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 blah. And once again, Lamar, unanimous, totally deserved it. I think it was good. It was great. Excellent. And, the clutch performance plays, everything like that. I think it was really, really good. So I was thrilled overall. I think it led to an exciting game for the next night. Yeah. Or the next day, I should say. So overall, I was happy with it.
I'm a little lost here. Did you do all these stats? Did you do this?
I helped. Wow. I got some help on that. For all my stats, because it was, that game was long. That was a long game, and I had friends come over to watch the game. I did Jacob, the opera singer, came with his friend Tony, my friend Tony, who's an opera singer.
Jacob from the first episode?
Yes, because Jacob's been getting into football.
Awesome. I wonder why. I wonder how.
So he well, once he found out that Justin Tucker, the kicker for the Ravens, is actually an opera singer as well. Wow. Jacob was all geared in.
Wow.
All geared in, and he thinks Garoppolo's cute. So, Jacob was right there with me watching the game.
So episode 1 falls in, Mike. I think that's great.
So, we were in watching the game, and we had to, I had to explain a couple things. So we sat there, and Tony, who's another opera singer, has actually played football. So these guys were totally geared into the game, cool. and we watched it. What I did find interesting, though, there was a shot before the game of both locker rooms.
Yeah.
And you saw Garoppolo kind of joking around, and then you saw Mahomes, and he was just sitting on the bench alone.
Yeah.
And it reminded me, and this is going to sound very weird, of the old Bugs Bunny cartoon, The Tortoise and the Hare, where you see Bugs on before the starting gun goes off, and he's on the line, and he's joking, and he's talking to his friends, and that was Garoppolo. And then you saw the tortoise just sitting there. And that, to me, was Mahomes. And at that point, my pick changed in my head, and I looked and I thought, oh, this isn't going to go the way we all thought it was. Because
Sure.
Garoppolo looked way too relaxed to me.
He
He
was.
was having way too much fun. And Mahomes looked so geared in. And I remember Jacob and Tony both going, he looks shook. And I said, no.
No.
That's laser focused.
That was.
That reminded me before I competed. Like, my headphones were always
yeah.
on, and I was just, leave me alone, don't talk to me. And that's how Mahomes looked to me.
You know what it reminded me of?
Gathering me.
Well,
Gathering
you know,
up.
want to know what the first thing came to my mind when I saw it? When Holyfield would go to a fight singing, dancing on his way into the fight, you know.
Almost that Apollo Creed kind of thing from Rocky. But
that's exactly what Holyfield did. And when he got in the ring, he was loose. He was just... And when I saw Garoppolo doing that, the first thing that came to my mind is he's got that Patriot in him. That Patriot
swagger.
Because they, their confidence,
But I never remember seeing Brady like that on the sideline. I always remember seeing Brady like...
He was more respectfully focused, I thought.
But I thought of that, from Rocky, Apollo Creed. Coming in to, living in America with all that swagger and that pomp and circumstance. And then there was Mahomes, and that was when I thought of the Predator. The Predator never jumped around dancing. He was always somewhere stealthy in the trees. And I was looking at it going, oh, and I remember looking down at Penelope and going, honey, you may have bet on the right horse on this one, and looking at Carlos and going, Carlos, baby, I don't think this is going your way. Sorry, honey bunch. I think we both bet on the wrong horse here.
Well,
it was a little scary.
Garoppolo had the game, was ahead the whole game. I mean, let's face it, until Mahomes stepped it up.
Well, no, and originally Mahomes came out swinging in the beginning.
He threw two interceptions.
But also in the second half. I mean, I think what it was is Mahomes originally did not face, like we said, a pass rush.
Yeah.
The four horsemen got to him.
Yeah.
They did get to him.
Yeah.
But Mahomes was also in the lead in the beginning. But Garoppolo could match him. They were evenly matched. I mean, remember, we went to halftime tied.
Yeah, it was a new game.
So you were watching it going, I don't think Mahomes was comfortable. I do believe Mahomes likes being behind.
Yeah.
I think he's more
100%.
comfortable being behind. I think he
100%.
likes it that way. And he was comfortable because he could then see what the other team is made of when he's behind.
Right.
He can sit back and observe a little bit. I think he likes that, and he was okay. Oh, and what is that?
We have a call coming in.
Oh, boy. What's going on?
Hello. Is that you, Steven?
That's me, brother.
Oh, man, I'm so happy you called. We're doing a little talk about the Super Bowl here, and I wanted to ask you some questions. First, I want to introduce Danielle to you. Say hello to Dani.
Hi, how are you?
She and you are going to have a lot to talk about. First, I want to know from you, because what is your thing with ESPN? You seem to know so much about ESPN.
Well, I've been watching ESPN ever since it first came on the air. I even go to sleep. I go to sleep with my TV on at night. It's always on ESPN, so I get all the repeats and everything. When I'm off, I watch First Take and all the other talk shows and everything. I just find it's my favorite channel of all time.
No kidding. What if there's a blackout? Can you go to sleep?
It's very hard. It's very hard.
You knew I was going to ask that one. You knew that was coming out. So you know what? The one thing I never asked you is, who's your favorite team?
Oh, I love the Giants. I always have.
Good answer.
Ever since I was like eight years old, I've been watching football. It's like every Sunday it's a religion. Gotta watch football all the time.
And what did you think of Eli retiring?
I think it was time for him to go. The guy, he's the greatest quarterback in Giants history, in my opinion.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. His best days were, he's the best one.
Wow,
Phil Simms is up there. Don't get me wrong. I have a small spot for Phil Simms, but Eli was the best quarterback in Giants history, in my opinion.
wow. No, that's huge. I did notice you have a lot of different jerseys, though, don't you?
Oh, yeah. My favorite is my LT jersey from 1981. Christmas of 1981. It still fits. It's a little tight. Oh, and I have Eli jerseys and a Michael Strahan jersey. Hell yeah.
Wow. I know you saw one of my posts on Facebook. You saw the Sims jersey, and I know you were eyeing it.
Yes, that's a great one. I would even trade the LP one. I've had it since 1981.
Wow. Wow. One time, though, you posted on Facebook, I thought you had some other different jerseys that I didn't recognize.
Oh, I have a Phillip Rivers jersey. I love the San Diego Chargers jersey for some reason. The color blue uniform is a great. I have that one. I have Joe Montana. Drew Brees.
Wow.
Several jerseys, yes.
Wow.
Well, I got the Drew Brees jersey like 10 years ago, when the year the Saints won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I was big on them. I just knew they were going to win the Super Bowl. They were like 30-1, so I actually bet on them. I said I got to get a Drew Brees jersey, and I did. I've kept it ever since.
Well, I don't know. I have that nickname for you with betting. Did you at least win money?
Dude, but I hit a box this year. First time ever in my life I hit a point in a box.
Good for you.
I lucked out. On that last touchdown, I lucked out. So I won $2,000.
Wow.
$1,000, excuse me.
It's about time. What do I call you from the movie Bronx Tale? I call you Eddie Mush.
But I told you, did I tell you, like, the year the Giants made their first Super Bowl, Super Bowl 21, I had 0-0 as the final score. And the Giants ended up winning their last touchdown. Nobody remembers this. Their last touchdown, they ended up winning 39-20, but their kicker, Raul Allegre, missed the extra point. It should have been 40-20. So everybody's jumping up and down, hooting and hollering, and I'm over there all depressed. I just want $10,000 go down the drain.
Wow.
Who's your favorite Giants player of all time, though? Is it Eli, or you have a favorite player?
Well, actually, my first favorite Giant player was Brad Van Pelt, the original number 10.
Wow.
Growing up in the 70s. He was my favorite player on about a lot of bad teams. I loved him.
Stephen, you're not that old. When did he play?
70s.
In the 70s.
Yeah.
Up until when, though? Up until
like 1980, I believe was his
81, yeah.
He died several years ago. He died like 5 or 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But he was the original number 10. He was my favorite player on a lot of bad teams. And after that, I think I love LP. He was a game changer.
Yeah.
I would think next. I think him and Mark Bavaro changed the positions they played.
Yes, they did. And I remember my favorite Giant game of all time was when they played their very first playoff game with Ray Perkins for years throughout the 70s. I remember they were awful. And they finally made the playoffs, so my team was relevant. I was never so psyched for a game in my life. I actually had like tears in my eyes. I was living and dying on every play.
Wow.
My team was finally relevant.
Yeah, it took him a little bit. When Parcells first came in, we were 3-12-1. I think we tied with the Skins.
This is before Parcells. That was Ray Perkins was the coach.
Yes, and then Parcells came in after he was a defensive coordinator. But even then, we were still. That first year was a little rough, but it was the first time you saw a little flicker of hope.
Yes, I saw, but yes, they finally made the playoffs. I remember we used to go to the Jet games, the last game of the year. Me and my friends. That this one they played at Shea Stadium, and the Jets had to beat the Packers the last game of the season for the Giants to make the playoffs. And after they did, I remember we stormed on the field and everything. I remember I punched Slam Jones as he was running by.
Wow. That's awesome.
That's a good time.
Well, Stephen, hats off to Eli for going out the way he did.
Yes, he did. He did. I'm very glad he retired, and he'll be in the Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
He'll make the Hall of Fame eventually, I believe. Maybe not right away, but he will make it, I believe.
What do you
Super Bowl get you in.
What do you think of Daniel Jones?
I like Daniel Jones.
You think he's the future?
I like him.
You think he's the future?
You need a mobile quarterback these days.
Well, yeah.
You know.
You think he's it?
I mean, he fits the bill, and he can throw the ball too.
Yeah, no, he can. He can. I think it's going to depend on the receivers we have around. What do you think about Evan Ingram, or do you think we should be looking at other tight ends?
He's very injury prone. He can always
Yeah.
use another tight end. Actually, I've noticed all good teams need to have a good offensive line. You got to build from with the lines. Offensive defensive line has always been a Giants trademark. I don't know. They've gotten away from that, I believe.
Yeah, we've gotten back from our own identity that I think Parcells originally built us on. But do you think Jason Witten is a possibility for us?
He's a stopgap at best. I mean, he has no speed. You need a big, speedy tight end. You need a big, speedy tight end. Evan Ingram is good. I mean, he's a good possession tight end. If you can find a good blocking guy, there's plenty of them coming in the college ranks. I don't know about Jason Witten. He wouldn't fit, I don't think. He's a stopgap at best.
Do you think we should be paying more attention to a tight end, or should we be fixing the defense and looking more at the safety and cornerback position after losing Jackrabbit? Should we be looking maybe at somebody like Eric Barry, a veteran, who is definitely available? Should we be looking at a veteran like that?
Yes, I actually like Eric Berry. Yes, that's a very good fit.
I think that's
he was
somebody.
draft pick by the Chiefs years ago. Yes, I like that.
Yeah.
And yes, I like that. And they have this third pick. I like that Isaiah Simmons guy coming out of Clemson. You need a hybrid guy that can cover and rush the passer. I like them too.
Yeah,
I think that would be
I think
very
that's a
good.
possibility.
And you got to up the offensive line a little bit also.
Oh, yeah, the offensive line has been, I mean, that's been at least 3-4 years since, that needs rebuilding, definitely.
Is that why Eli, because he's not mobile, was having so much trouble?
That's part
of it.
And he would get panicky feet, and after a while, getting rushed all the time. You see, even Tom Brady does. You rush and you get rid of the ball even when you don't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a big part of the problem.
Yeah, I think Nate's...
Both lines need shoring up, and I believe. That's in the secondary. I like Eric Berry. That's very good.
Yeah, I think Eric Berry would be, because I think, he's been off a season. I think we could get him at a good price right now, and that would leave us money, because Nate Solder, I don't feel we spent way too much money, and we still have to deal with the Eric Flowers debacle.
Yes.
That was huge. There's one somebody coming up in the draft, and I can't think. I just blanked on his name that we're looking at. I mean, look, we're not getting Chase Young. We all know we're not getting Chase Young. We lost that.
Yeah.
That's not happening. But we gotta shore up the tackles and go from there. But that offensive line, it needs help. But I think if we could get somebody like Eric Berry to help, especially because our cornerback situation, we need help. But Eric Berry would be a good start, because after losing Landon Collins, we have no veterans really on the defensive side to help with the younger guys that we need to develop. So I think that would be a way to go to help with that in our zone.
Isaiah Simmons guy at Clemson, the cornerback is still available from Ohio State, Judah.
Yeah, I saw Judah. Yeah, he looks good. Yeah, he looks good. I think that would be somebody to look at. But I still think, a veteran that can come in and help develop these young guys, because we don't know what's going to happen, how we're going to build from here. And Jones is going to need time on the offensive line. He's, the problem with him is that we know ball security is an issue. And when you're a young rookie quarterback, you're looking to put the whole team on your back to prove yourself. We saw it with Lamar. We already have seen these issues happen. He needs time to be able to calm himself, or else he's going to be prone to these mistakes. So offensive line has got to get shored up.
Yes, I agree, Danielle. You should be GM. I agree.
They don't want me coming in and fixing that. They're not going to like me very much. But yeah, I could fix these problems, but, we got to look at them.
And she can bring it, Steven. She can definitely bring it. Real quick, while we were talking about Witten, I just want to not forget this point. What's your feeling on Garrett for the team? Yeah, you're not a big Cowboys fan, I could tell.
No, man, he's not a great motivator. I mean, he's a coordinator. Some people have wanted it, but he was like Jerry Jones's yes man. I mean, the guy had I liked him as a player. I remember he was a good backup quarterback. They made these coaches, but he can be adequate. But with him as the head coach and lurking over this guy over his shoulder, you never know.
Well, you know what scares me about that, Steve, is we had a Cowboys fan here on the show, your old buddy you grew up with. Mike Longo, yeah. And, I don't know how that worked when you were kids, because he said he was in the crib with the helmet, and he wants us to have Garrett. He said, good luck.
I remember him with this cowboy helmet all the time, yes.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, he had a cowboy helmet growing up. I remember, yes. Wearing jerseys, yes.
Yep.
And I would say, what's wrong with you? And I would say,
was it a big rivalry then when you guys were kids?
Oh, yeah, we always talk trash. Oh, yeah. You know, what are you living here for if you're like a cowboy? Go live in Texas.
I hadn't.
And when we played tackle football games in the snow, we pretend we're hitting somebody real good,
Well, I remember when we used to come down, the family, we used to get together for Easter, and you had that, by Clark Street, you had that basketball court out there. I'm so glad we didn't play football.
That's when we played tackle football in the snow, only when it snowed, though. Otherwise, we just played.
Yeah. I remember that parking lot. I do remember it. So I guess you're not a Cowboy. You don't like the Cowboys at all.
Oh, not really.
You've bet on them, I'll bet.
Not really, but I have the Red Zone channel, so I get to watch all the players and everything. I root for maybe certain players, that's all, but not Zeke. I kind of like Dak, but not Zeke.
Okay.
Yeah, I could see that. What do you think about Tom Brady going to the Cowboys? You think the rumors are true?
No.
Really?
No, I don't think he's going anywhere.
Nah. He's not leaving Belichick.
I don't think so.
The Raiders have $60 million on the table for him for a 2-year contract.
No, listen, I like the Raiders, but and they, for some reason they want to get rid of Derek Carr. I mean, understand he's not great, but he's adequate.
Yeah, but I think Chuckles needs to bring home a playoff, at least a playoff berth, in order to prove he was worth all this and to leave Monday Night Football and leave that booth. He needs to be more than adequate. And if they're going as far as now to even talk to Marcus Mariota to bring, to go over there.
Oh, Lord. I don't think Brady over Mariota any day.
Right. So they now.
Brady over Mariota any day.
Rumor is there's a $60 million 2-year contract on the table to Brady right now.
Wow.
So if that's the case, the Raiders are looking, because they're going to Vegas, they got to make one hell of a splash. And let's face it, Derek Carr is only one step ahead of David. I mean, one step ahead of David. We're really pushing it. So Derek is a good backup for somebody. I think what the Raiders should.
Wow, that could be a destination. Wow.
What the Raiders should be doing is looking at Teddy Bridgewater. That's who they should be looking at. That would be a smart move, is Teddy Bridgewater. But think about it. Dak Prescott had a $33 million deal on the table from Dallas and said no. So could the rumors about them holding out for Tom be true if Dak said no to that $33 million because he wants to be paid more than Russell? So
he wants to sit the money. I think he's overvalued himself. I mean, he's good, but wow, he's turning down a lot of money. He's really betting on himself.
Yeah, you're betting a little too much.
The Cowboys have no other options, but yeah, they do.
But if that's the case, Jerry could be holding out for Brady because this contract's taken way too long. They have not franchise tagged him. This is taking way too long. And if you know that $60 million is the deal, Yeah, Jerry, he is Satan's lapdog. He may turn around and say, you know what? If that's the case, make it 65 and let's come down with Mike McCarthy, because then you're going to you're going from Belichick to another veteran coach.
Yeah.
It's not that big, and you've got Zeke, who, I'm not a Zeke fan, but you got a running back who's strong, and the Browns are looking to dump Odell after all this. Odell would love to come back against his Giants clan.
Oh, yes.
For twice, all of a sudden, you send Cooper packing, and you bring Odell in. Now, all of a sudden, the Cowboys are starting to look a little bit better. Warmer weather, it's better for your joints. Sorry, Brady, I'm looking at you, honey, but, you ain't getting any younger, sweetie pie. We know the joints do a little bit better in the warmer climate. So...
in my opinion, hear me out for a second. There's no way Tom Brady's leaving. It's not about money for him, so he doesn't need the money. So
I think it's more pride.
Pride to go to a team that he would have to rebuild at his age.
But Gronk would follow him to a brand new team, because Gronk was actually used more by Belichick as a workhorse. Think about Gronk and Witten.
Okay.
Together.
What's your feeling on that, Steven?
Yeah, it was a very good point. Gronk just might come out and pull a Witten, and follow
with
Brady
Witten.
Yeah.
Two tight ends like that?
Point.
I'm going to bring up something that I know people are going to hate, and I'm sorry to say this, but think about what Gronk and Hernandez did together.
Of course. I knew
you
that
have
was
almost
coming.
the same body types now with Witten and him. Think about what those two did together. Now you got the same body type. You add Odell to that. I hate to say this, and God, I really hate to say this, but you could have an unstoppable team with Dallas now, with Mike McCarthy heading that. That would be a dangerous. You could have a dynasty team for at least 2 years.
Wait a minute. I thought Dallas had one of the better offenses in the league.
Yeah, but now you throw in.
But
you throw in Gronk, OBJ.
And with that O-line?
Yeah, with that O-line, they've got the best O-line. I think they were the top. I think they were the best.
They were.
That's what I'm saying.
At.
You now throw Brady in there. You take Cooper out and you put OBJ in, and then you throw Gronk in there with Witten. Oh my God, I would not want to play them, because there's nobody in the NFC East.
Yes, they're one hole as a quarterback. Yes, if they could fill that stuff in a little cheaper, yeah.
Then you send Dak then to the Chargers instead. Or you even put Dak to the Chargers or the Raiders instead. Yeah. Now you got a whole new ball game in the NFL. Whole new ball game.
I don't know who. I got to throw this out there. Who was the tall pitcher that beat the Yankees in 2001?
Oh, I don't deal with baseball.
Randy Johnson. Now, where did Randy Johnson go after that? He played a season for the Yankees.
If there's no contact in it, I don't care.
Right, Steven? Do you remember that?
He played for the Yankees, yes.
Yeah. To me, that was degrading. I get it. You're playing for the Yankees. It's money. I'm associating that with picture Tom Brady not as a Patriot.
But this would prove that Belichick was not the mad scientist.
Joe Montana, Joe Namath.
Yeah.
Goes on of people who have
Steve Young.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it. Look what Peyton did when after the Colts, and look at what he did.
Broncos, and he showed them I can win a Super Bowl without. It's not the coach. I think that's the whole thing. Is part of Brady's whole thing is everybody's told him without Belichick you're nothing.
I believe Belichick wants to prove he can win without Brady.
Yes,
too.
I think Belichick wants to show it's not just Brady that made me. I think Brady wants to prove to everybody. I am not a Frankenstein. It doesn't. I don't need Dr. Frankenstein for me to be a winner. I can do this without him, and I think that's part of it.
Belichick believes he's a control freak too. So
that's interesting conversation. I'm glad it got thrown out there because it definitely has possibilities.
With Jones's money, he could do it.
Oh yeah, Jerry World. Oh yes.
Yeah,
he wants to win the Super Bowl before
he
dies.
Well, I'm getting the signal from our production supervisor, Mike. We need to move on. So, to that point, Steve, what did you think of Reed winning this year? Was that your pick?
Actually, I bet on the 49ers, but
Yeah, you
Okay.
and me both.
no, my brother Sal actually had the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl early
Okay.
in the season. He bet him before the start of the season. So he won it. I'm happy for him. He's been through a lot. He lost his son, and his son is drunk
Yeah.
and everything. He's definitely paid his dues, and he's had a lot of tough losses. It's probably good for to see someone win like that.
What made you pick San Francisco?
I thought they were the overall better team.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
But I was wrong. I knew Mahomes was great. Don't get me wrong. I just figured the D would stop him. But I've been wrong before.
Yeah.
There's a stop.
Listen,
the same way.
we know that, Eddie Mush, but what I'm saying is when it was the half and it was a 0-0 game.
Oh, listen, 20-10 with 7 minutes left. I thought I looked strong.
Yeah.
And then they went 3 and out. They gave up a touchdown and gave the ball right back, and I knew I was in trouble.
Yeah. I mean,
You and me both.
yeah. I mean, wow. That's interesting. The way it turned out was exactly how I anticipated it would. Watching Mahomes this season, even though my daughter was diehard about Garoppolo, she said to me, she goes, Mahomes really knows how to work and pull it out. So I started focusing.
Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL, in my opinion. But, I mean, I knew that. I knew that. I just figured the overall better team. I didn't think they'd be able to run. The Chiefs be able to run as well as they did. Also, I thought that helped a little. It kept them in the game.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, that last pass he got off, I mean, that changed the game. That was the game changer right there.
That third and 15. Yes.
Oh, come on. Yeah. How do you give that up? And when he threw those 2 interceptions in the first half, I said, now, you can't make mistakes in this game. There's just, it's going to come back and bite.
The turnover battle is huge. Usually you lose this turnover battle, you lose the game.
Yeah.
But I think that was Rodgers' that you got to see Rodgers' mentoring of Mahomes, and the fact that he kept his cool the way he did. I think that was where you saw Aaron Rodgers' mentoring of Mahomes kind of starting to come out a little bit, and just you got to give Mahomes credit. His maturity level at this young age, unlike anything I've seen in a quarterback.
Has anybody ever won it this young?
He's the first. He's the youngest MVP.
Just goes right on, and everybody says that, but he actually does it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the way he talks on the sidelines to them. It's like, wow, this kid's going to go a long way. So the youngest to win it.
Youngest MVP.
MVP.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
So
24 years.
yeah, very cool. I think
years
if he
old.
stays healthy, we're going to see maybe another great one for a long.
I think we're starting to see the next generation of great quarterbacks. We're starting to see it.
We thought like the passing record, like Manning set and Breeder set it. He has a chance to break them all already. He's already ahead of them.
Yes, he is. Yes, I think we're seeing
Wow.
it.
Wow. So real quick, Steve, do you watch with ESPN? Do you watch Michael Kay at all? Are you?
No, I'm usually on the delivery. I'm usually working when he's on.
Oh, okay. So it's a timing thing. I actually happened to catch it this morning. I was brushing up for this, and I caught his show this morning, and Alan Alda was on it.
Oh wow.
From it was
MASH. Alan
from
Alda?
MASH. He was actually Michael Kay. He was a fan. Michael Kay said, "I was always a fan of you. I'm so happy you came on center stage to interview." And the best part was when Alan Alda said, "I had played football, and I remember getting the ball and running." And getting a touchdown, and I was so proud of myself. I was so happy until the coach told me I ran the wrong way, and he said to him, "But the goalposts look the same. Couldn't you put a ribbon on one of them that I'm supposed to run to?" So I just thought that was funny because you
That's a good answer.
the fact that I had met Michael at the ESPN Christmas party, and he's a real cool guy. He was and I met Timmy, one of the bosses for ESPN.
I listen to this radio show once in a while, when I'm driving in the car or whatever. But yeah, he's very good. Listen, he's close to the fan. I'll give Mike a guy.
Yeah, I was.
He's one of the less polarizing guys, I think.
He's better than Francesa, man. Francesa's never wrong. Trust me.
Okay. I just thought I'd throw that in there because I know I met him at ESPN's event and
I like ESPN.
I like
even like
Max.
Mike and Mike in the morning. I was sad when they broke up on their radio show.
Oh, Mike and Mike. Yeah, I used to listen to those guys all the time. Yeah, I was upset when they went. Yeah.
Wow.
I like Max, too.
all right. So Steve, we're gonna wrap up. I'm so happy you came on and you gave us your insight. I wish you would have told me you won. I know we're going to the horse races.
I hit a box. I'm happy. Dude, I hit a box.
That's awesome. Yeah, we'll pick this up again sometime. You have any more questions for Steve?
No, talk to him after the combines, the draft.
Yeah, great, Steven. It's good talking to you. Talk
Nice
to you
meeting
soon,
you.
buddy.
Oh, well, listen, don't
Yeah.
forget June 20th, Chris.
Horses.
Father's Day.
Yep, this is what another year I'm going to show you up when I keep throwing the right horses in there, right?
All right, big guy.
Talk to you.
Nice meeting you.
Take
Thanks.
care, Steve.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
That was nice of him to call in and
That was fun.
mix it up with you.
That was
I
good.
realize he went back that far with
Van Pelt, holy cow.
Yeah.
That was really going there.
He's Steven's older than me. He was my sister's age, and there's four of them.
He's a fan.
So he's
He's
a
a real
diehard
fan.
Anytime I mentioned it to him, he went all out. So to wrap up, anything else you want to talk about on this?
When it comes to the Super Bowl, look, the bottom line is Mahomes won, totally deserved it. I think the 49ers ran out of steam. I think the defense did most of the work. They ran out of steam in the end, but
Okay.
they put up a good fight. Garoppolo proved at the end he can throw the ball.
Yeah.
Mahomes, like I said, won it. I was happy with Reed. I think,
Happy for Reed too.
yeah, I was very happy. And I think
was.
Eric Bieniemy, totally gets a gold star for creativity on his plays, taking risks.
Yeah.
I think they did a great job overall. Hats off, to KC after 50 years. You deserved it.
Oh, absolutely. Hands down.
I'm happy for them. Penelope, you got an extra treat that night. You know it. My dog was better than me at picking things, so I can't really complain on any of it. The only thing I would say is the halftime show. Dare we talk about
Want
this?
to go there? Well,
Well,
I've been getting a lot of feedback
I mean, it's been
on
coming
that.
up. What are we doing about it? I mean, it's been.
Isn't it
we
it's a
can't
half
ignore it.
time show, isn't it?
We can't ignore
a couple of big people in the business said I was mortified watching that and having my kids watch it.
What?
And listen, I'm somebody that likes to absorb what everybody's doing. They could talk about politics, they could talk about football. I just absorb, and they don't want to go toe to toe with me. But the reality is, it's an entertainment show, and right away they went to last year's when
Levine?
he took his shirt off.
Okay.
I mean, the guy, hey, if you're going to take your shirt off and you look like that,
More power to you.
more power to you. Wasn't one time
John
Britney
Jack.
Spears or something? And
Well, it was Janet and Justin. Britney's performed as well.
That one.
So what are we talking?
So-
Okay. Well, what was your whole deal with it? I mean, were you mortified by it? Were you,
I'm in the entertainment business.
Right. So what
To
was
me, entertainment is entertainment, positive, negative, however you see it. It got people talking.
Mm-hmm.
No different than Brady going to the Cowboys. I think it's all propaganda. It's to get us talking. Thank goodness it's not politics, because we have something else to talk about.
All right, here's the deal. Okay, once again, sorry.
We're going to have to
Go
get
there.
back in the ring on some things, because
I know.
I don't
All
agree
right,
with
here's
you
my-
on some things. And you
This
can
is
kick my
probably
ass
one
all
of
you
them.
want, but
No.
I'm going down with a fight.
I had no problem with the show. What I have a problem with is women. I'm sorry, ladies, this is towards you. What I had an issue with is women bitching about other women.
Oh.
Okay? Here the thing is, Shakira's 43, J-Lo is 50. J-Lo is my life goal. I love you so much. I want to look like that now, okay? That's first and foremost. I don't care that she was on a pole. I didn't find it dirty. I didn't have a problem with it being hypersexualized. I don't like the way other women are speaking about it. That's my problem with it.
Okay.
Like, whether you like it or not, I don't really give a shit, to be honest. All right, if you don't like it, don't watch it. Whatever. What I don't like is how women are talking about it, because you can't have it both ways. Like, what I hear women say is, oh, there's nothing for, oh my God, you have to be young to be in this industry. Okay. And then they bitch about it. But now here are two women over 40, like, tearing it up.
Yeah.
And now they're like, oh my God, they're being sexual and they're being this and they're being that. Okay, wait a minute. Either you want the job or you don't want the job. Because whether Britney was doing it or Ariana Grande, they'd be doing the same thing. Like,
sure.
Celebrate it, but then don't sit there and bitch about it and then call these, like, and slut shame them. You can't say that, and you can't look at your daughter and then say this stuff and wonder why your daughter's being a mean girl. It's how we talk about these women. Choose the right words to say. If you don't like it and want to have a conversation with your daughter or whomever about these women, choose your words properly. You can't tear these women down and then turn to your daughters and be like, don't be a mean girl. Well, you're doing the same thing talking about these two women. Watch how you say it. That's my whole thing, is like, if you don't like what they did, okay, you don't have to. That's cool. Like, that's fine. You're totally open to your opinion. But it's what they're saying. Don't slut shame these two women for getting up there and be like, oh, it's not empowering. Back to Adam Levine. Okay, he had dad bod, but he looks phenomenal. He's taking off his shirt, gyrating, and everybody's like, good for you. Oh, that's so awesome. Okay, so why is it okay for him to do it? Because nobody's slut-shaming Adam Levine. But you're slut-shaming Shakira and J-Lo. Because that's what they're doing. They're calling them sluts. And it's like, why are you saying that about them as other women? How about you don't like it? That's cool. You don't want to say that it's empowering. We can all go back and forth on that debate. But just watch what you're saying to your daughters, because they're picking that up and they're saying it to their friends. So use it as a teachable moment to not tear other women down. That's all I'm saying.
Is there a statistic
you don't like it.
of ratio statistic of likes and dislikes? Do you know that you know of?
It's been a mixed bag on this.
Okay.
And that's why I can't say. Like I said, I'm not going to tell you should like it, you shouldn't like it.
Okay.
Versus that, I mean.
So you didn't dislike it?
Oh, I was up there. Me and Jacob were up there, and we were snapping.
All right, so
and oh my God,
Denise, how about you? Did you like it?
I did.
You liked the show. Did your daughter like the show? Was it okay for her to see it?
She was fine.
Okay. How about you, Mike? Did you like the show?
It didn't bother me at all.
All right. So here's the thing. When it came halftime, I didn't watch. I saw them dance, and I said, "Oh, it's a nice show. They put on a great performance." I saw it start, the setup, and I went and I chatted with people because it's the only time during the game
that's what some people are
I could
like. It's
actually
not the
talk
game.
to anybody.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
I
Okay,
didn't
like
care.
when Justin
Either way.
Timberlake did his, I think he was on when it was in Minnesota a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Like I think it was 2 years ago. I was thinking we were going to get, because it was the year Prince died, I thought we were getting some big Prince tribute. And I'm a huge Prince fan, so I was glued into that show. And all we got was like a backdrop and like one Purple Rain thing, and that was it. And I'm like, that's it? Like, I was so disappointed in that show. Now, there are people who thought Justin Timberlake did the most phenomenal job. Me, I'm like, that sucked.
That was it, right?
I was just like, where is my Prince? Where's my hologram thing?
Yeah.
I want some purple umbrellas. I saw Prince in Madison Square Garden when he played a couple years ago. It was the most mind-blowing experience of my life.
Wow, and it's
I
resonated
bow
enough.
down because Prince is the greatest thing ever. I swear he's not of this planet. I thought Justin's show sucked because I thought you're in Prince's hometown.
Okay, so
So
that's
it was, to me, I was like, this isn't great.
There was one. Who was the rock star played the year before? He was really good, and I can't think of his name.
Bruno Mars did a great show.
Bruno Mars.
Phenomenal show.
They wanted to see more of a Bruno Mars show.
Yeah,
Is
some people.
statistically
I like
heard.
a rock show for the halftime show. Like, I like more of a rock show. When Madonna did hers, and I've seen Madonna live. I was on stage with Madonna. I went to an MTV concert, and I was actually buried in the stage with her. One of her dancers was a wushu guy I competed against. It was great, but I saw her live. Her halftime show, I was like, like, she's more of a theatrical show, but when U2 did theirs, I was like, this is a halftime show. I want to see this. Even when Aerosmith
too,
did it with
did-
Britney,
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like,
Yeah,
yeah,
they
this is
rocked.
kind of what I'm expecting. I thought Shakira and J-Lo brought it, though, from a theatrical standpoint, and still gave me something. Gaga.
Yeah.
Even Gaga, I was like, okay, wow, this is on. But when J-Lo got on that pole, even like Jacob and I were like, shit, man. But we also knew that was the nod to the Academy. Like, okay, don't nominate me for Hustler. This is what you missed. Hats off once again.
There you go.
You gave me it. So
And that's what entertainment's all about.
it was about entertaining, so you forgot about the game for 2 seconds and you moved on.
I think they sent a really good message because we're talking about this, and everybody was talking about it. The pros,
just
they're
how
in their
you
40s.
talk about it.
You know, who cares what age you are? Stay in shape and.
Yeah, I gotta
pull it.
say, because that took a
Pull the
lot.
trigger, yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, like I said, as somebody who competes, and even when Jacob and I were talking about it,
Yeah.
when he has to speak, and when we're doing Wushu, and that boy can carry on a conversation while we're doing Wushu. And there are days where I'm like, okay, so the next move is, and he's just like, and he's holding a pose like, what's wrong with you? I can keep talking. It's
You know
amazing.
what? I want to touch on something for our viewers. Episode 1, when Jacob did it, was
Mm-hmm.
really about martial arts and fitness, martial arts,
Cross-training, yeah.
and discipline for football players. A lot of them do.
Yes.
It was a great episode we did that will go live. I just, getting back to that, a lot of that first show was J-Lo's movie, Enough. I didn't realize it, that when she did that movie, where she was a battered
enough.
wife,
Yeah, she Krav Maga. Yes.
I was impressed
Yeah.
by how
She's
many women that resonated with J-Lo doing that movie was something that we can actually staple to the fact.
Yeah.
Look at her now. You know how many years ago that was?
Yeah, it was
That's
one
an
of our
old movie.
first like big movies. Yeah.
And she had to get in shape and actually do those fight scenes.
Those fight scenes are not.
So to those,
not easy.
to everyone out there that maybe was a little deterred by her performance at age 40, take the
50.
number out of the picture right
yeah.
now and realize one of the biggest things we want to hit home in our whole production is the fact that you take a professional like Danielle, martial arts world champion. It doesn't matter if you're being abused, if you're getting domestic violences in your life. Take what J-Lo did at 40. Look back at her movie when she did Enough, and it was the same thing of what we're trying to express to people. Anyone, everyone, always protect yourself and learn this martial arts training. And
Any woman should have some basic form of self-defense.
Right.
Basic.
I agree. And
And you have to learn the right form of it. But yes, any woman.
my youngest daughter, she's 21 now. She's doing it, and
Mm-hmm.
she's learning Muay Thai and Krav Maga. She's a
Basic
sweet, innocent thing, but I cannot wait to get her in that ring and let her show what she
Yes.
has learned. She's actually going to go for a belt. I never would have expected her
wonderful.
to do that, but
No, yeah.
she is.
Any basic, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to hit home with that
Definitely.
moving forward.
Yeah.
All right, I think we covered everything, don't you?
Yeah. XFL started. It was pretty cool.
Yes, been watching.
Yeah, I think it's going very well.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a lot more fun than I thought. They got rid of all the kitschiness.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's all gone. So I think there are some rule changes that I think the NFL can actually learn from. The camera angles are great. The only thing I would say with the XFL, if you've been watching, there's a lot of stupid interviews.
Yeah.
Like in the middle of the
Yeah.
games. A lot of weird little interviews that
Yeah.
that's
Well, I've been
slowing
picking
it
up
down.
things from Mike, who used to actually work for me. He is the equipment manager.
Right, yeah.
I've been picking up little things from him, and they're really
Yeah.
doing a great job.
I think they're doing a really good job. The only thing they have more female refs, which I like, and the refs are on point. NFL, you could pick up from them. Huge. These refs know their deal. You could watch that and learn a lot. The kickoff, I think the XFL has a better deal with the kickoff too. I think they may have solved that issue. Once again, NFL, check that out, because the NFL learned the Skycam routine from the XFL.
Okay, interesting.
They always had the Skycam, but the XFL perfected it. So
Yeah.
I think that's something the NFL can pick up on.
Yeah.
But if I can to the XFL one, I know I'm long on commentary today, Mike. I know you're going to shoot me. This is quick. XFL, you have an opportunity the NFL does not have. Give me a female player. Okay? You have this opportunity.
Okay.
You have fixed the kickoff issue. Now give me a female player. You gave me some good female refs. Thank you. Now give me a female player. Stop with the bullshit on the coaches, okay? We got the San Fran coach. She thinks she's going to be a real coach one day. Cute. Okay, NFL's never going to do it, but that's cute. Give me a female player now, okay? Do something that the NFL will never do. You guys do it and take that step now. You can do this. You're showing us that you guys have all the equipment. You have the real resources to do it. McMahon, show everybody that you're not a dick and take the step. Give me a kicker. There's a lot of players out there. There's good female athletes. Do it. Show all these assholes that we can actually run with the big boys. Give me a female player.
Wow.
That's all I'm asking for now, and put them all to shame.
Power to the women. I agree.
That's
I agree
what you
with
need
you
to
on
do,
that.
XFL.
I'm gonna wrap us up because you can go on all day. The only
I
thing
know.
I want to say here is we need to get a book out.
Yes,
we have
we
a
do.
launch coming on
Yes, we do.
Fairy Day.
International
Fairy Day.
International Fairy Day.
What are you doing spending all this time on football and the Giants? We need to
know.
get book
I know.
tours going. We need to get...
I know. I'm done for a little while until the draft.
So,
Until draft.
on behalf of me, Christopher Arshara, Danielle Orsino, the See You at 6 Network, I want to thank, special thanks goes out to our production supervisor and videographer, Mike from Absolute Motion, Danielle, Denise Apostle, who makes me look like I can do this.
Makes both of us
Makeup
look
and
like this.
artist.
This is not natural.
Hair and makeup, thank you, because without you, we can't have all these lights on us. Thanks for joining us. We really look forward to next time. Please DM us on Instagram. Any questions for Danielle?
Give me your mock draft
You better
picks for
have
the
a long
Giants.
day. You better pull up a chair. That's all I have to say. You can subscribe and like us moving forward. We want to bring you more shows, and I'd like to make it a little more fun. I definitely want to get her back in the ring. I think we need to settle a couple of scores. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day.